The success of Scream gave Craven the freedom to pursue a career-long dream. Miramax Films offered him a 3-picture deal, which included the green light for a non-genre film. The former teacher and longtime lover of classical music chose to make Music of the Heart, based on the real-life story of Roberta Gaspari and her violin students in East Harlem. The film was released to enthusiastic notices in 1999.
Well, it's sort of the culmination of almost 30 years of trying to do something out of the genre. Not because I don't like the genre, but because I'm a person, I think, as any artist, wants to do a lot of different things. Just never before has that opportunity been presented. And it was presented very dramatically to me by Harvey and Bob Weinstein, following the first and only test screening of Scream 1, which went through the roof in Secaucus. They found us, Marianne and myself and our crew, cinematographer, were out having a celebratory dinner in the village, and somehow they found us. And literally walked into the restaurant, pushed people away, sat down next to me and said, "We want to make a deal with you. We want to make a 3-picture deal, and you're going to be a Miramax Dimension guy. And we understand that you want to make," this is Harvey speaking now, we know that you want to make a petticoat movie. I said, "What's a petticoat movie?" He says, "Well, the kind I make, costume dramas, whatever. So we want you to make a couple Dimension films for us, and you can make one of my films." And they started rattling off the properties that they owned, and they one of the things they mentioned was this documentary called Small Wonders. And I'm a member of the Academy, and I had been on one of the prejudging committees for documentaries and had seen that documentary of Roberta Savaris's work as a violin teacher, and I said, "I want to do that one." It was just like instantaneous love. I had been a teacher myself. I love music, I love classical music, and it seemed perfect. So off we went.
It's a true story of a single mother from upstate New York with 2 small children. Her husband leaves her. She has sort of no resources except the ability to teach violin. And she takes that ability and a dream she has into East Harlem and starts the East Harlem violin program, sort of against the odds, without much backing from the Board of Education. But she sort of gets a toehold in and starts teaching kids that other people feel their lives won't be enhanced by violin playing, classical music. And she works a little miracle there. They had sent me the script, which was terrific. But they sent it to me at a point where I would only have had a month to get ready to play a violin teacher, and I thought I would probably have to learn to play the violin, and I didn't think I could do it in 4 weeks. But not taking no for an answer is sort of Wes Craven's specialty. And I didn't know anything about him. I'd never seen any of those scary movies because I don't go to them. I'm a total wimp, but my son had seen a lot of them, and I trust he's almost 20, and he said he's a really good storyteller, Mom. And I feel like anybody, and I knew that he was wildly successful in that genre, anybody that can spin a yarn, keep people interested, doesn't really matter what the story is, it's the skill of pulling you along, and I knew he'd been very, very successful in that way. So it could only help in this story.
So she came into a film which originally had been with Vidana, rather late date that we had to shoot by fall, and went from never having picked up a violin to playing the Bach double cantata on the stage of Carnegie Hall with Isaac Stern and Itzhak Perlman so well that their mouths dropped open.
If you practice, you do get better, where you can't really practice acting. It's sort of this ephemeral thing. It either happens or it doesn't. I mean, you can get ready before you come in, but it's not the same thing. It just happens or it doesn't in a moment. And so there was something uniquely satisfying in encountering and playing an instrument in a way that was a different kind of artistic satisfaction for me.
If you put an isolated mic on her, it wouldn't have sounded great, but her form, her fingering, everything was perfect.
If you want to take a very difficult instrument, you have to take it seriously, you have to focus, you have to pay attention.
I think what Mrs. Lamb is trying to say, Roberta, is that you are a little too harsh. But I'm sure you might be able to soften your comments to the children.
Well, that was pretty good. That was not so bad.
Why are you acting like that?
Like what?
Like nice.
Well, don't you want a nice teacher?
I already got nice teachers. You added some variety.
Yeah, we like you better the way you used to be.
Yeah.
Okay. I take it all back. You stunk. You all stunk. Wes sees reality in a different way than other people do. He has a very clear understanding of the darkness in life, and I think that he'd waited 20 years to explore the flip side of the dark side, and I think he got a chance to do that.
It was just a great pleasure, and she took me as an equal, as a collaborator, and that was a huge honor and affirmation of my own, skills as a director. You never know at what point in your career you're going to be put with somebody where they look at you and say, "You're a fraud, get out." I'm off this picture.
This beautiful concert that you just heard could be the very last concert of the East Harlem Violin program. The Board of Ed and the district superintendent think that music isn't important for our kids. But they are wrong. And they're going to get a big fight.
A lot of our shots were intricately orchestrated with kids and music. And if one part of the shot was not good, but the part that he needed was okay, we'd know. He'd say that the first part wasn't great, but I'm going to use that in the master and for what we needed it for. When we come in close, that was great. I mean, I quickly saw he was really, really smart and really sentient about what was coming through in performance. And he was on me. He knew what I was doing, what I was trying to achieve in different takes.